Hey, it's Shel Anderson from Shel's Creative Corner and Shel Anderson Designs. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I blog at shelscreativecorner.blogspot.com and I can be reached by email anytime at andersonshell@gmail.com. I would like to welcome you here tonight for another impromptu Facebook Live just to combat the COVID crazy. So if you're joining me tonight, thank you so very much. I encourage you to say hello in the comments so that I know that you're here. Hi, Carol. I see that you've already done so. Glad that you could join me. We are going to get sketchy tonight. And we are going to make two cards tonight by following a sketch. I changed my plan last minute today because what I had planned for tonight's video was very, very similar to what my fellow demonstrator was doing today, and I didn't want it to seem like I was copycatting, so I changed my plan mid-afternoon, and hopefully it goes smoothly and works better than last video where everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Okay, so as always, I'm going to start off my video with a tip. And tonight's tip is to refill Stampin' Right markers with your re-inkers. Yes, the ink that's in these markers, not the blends, these markers, is the same as what is in our ink pads. Basically, you can use a cloth. Some people use tweezers. I just use a cloth, and I grab this tip at the base with a cloth and pull it out. And I add 3 drops of re-inker to the nib, and I add 3 drops in this hole in the barrel, and I take the cloth and I push that back in, and I sit it upright so that the ink goes into the tip for about an hour. Then it goes back horizontal. So always store them flat after they've been re-inked. That way the ink is evenly distributed in the barrel. So that is your tip for tonight. And I almost forgot that. Good thing I had these handy. Okay, so I've done a little bit of prep work for this because it could have been quite monotonous for you guys to watch what I was doing. And so I went on the internet this afternoon and I found a couple of sketches. And this is the first sketch. Just ignore where I wrote all over it. I often do that when I am not feeling very creative. I just go into Google and say card sketches. And it gives you a starting point as to what you can do. So this was my starting point. It was these 3 circles on a card front. So the supplies I'm using for tonight's card are Poppy Parade 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Whisper White 4 1/4 by 5. No, that's wrong. Whisper White 4 by 5 1/4. I have 2 of those, and then I have a piece of black that is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, so there's our big pieces. Also, I have used the 1 1/4, the 1 1/2, and the 1 3/4 circle punch. And like I said, I did a little bit of prep work ahead so that it's not so monotonous for you guys. I'm also using Dark Poppy Parade, Light Mango Melody, Light Smoky Slate, and Light Mossy Meadow. Hello, Pam. Okay, so the stamp sets. Now I've got options for this card, so we're not, you don't need all these stamp sets. That was my cat. That horrendous crash was my cat. She's helping me tonight in the craft room. I think she decided she wanted to cut a little paper with my paper trimmer. Okay. Tag Buffet, and I used this image here. Snow Wonder, and I used this image here. Wrapped in Christmas, and I used this image here. And Cherish the Season, and I used this image here. I also used some of the All the Trimmings Poppy ribbon with that fabulous gold edge. That comes in a 2-pack. It has the old olive as well with the gold edge. It's beautiful stuff. And I used the Word Wishes and the Playful Alphabet dies. So we are crossing the line here with all kinds of different products tonight. So to start off, we are going to put our 2 matte layers together. And I just have Tombow in this little bottle because I like the super fine tip on it. And we're just going to pop that down. And I'm going to put this right directly on my card front. And yes, I'm going to look before I stick this time and make sure I've got it opening in the right direction. We don't need another catastrophe like we had last time. It all turned out well, but it was a very long video for you girls, and I apologize for that. All right, so we need to put this on the inside so we have a nice surface to write on. And you see how very quickly this one is coming together. So that's our base. And now I have this little magic box of tricks. And I just did that because I don't want to lose anything. There's a little dot in here. From the Word Wishes dies, I've cut Christmas. Okay. And that little dot is in here somewhere. And of course it's going to elude me now because I was so careful to put it in there. Is it stuck to my ribbon? Nope. Well, sir, we're starting off good. That's all right. We'll work with it. Okay, so back to our sketch. I'm going to pull this back in here so that you can see it. Basically, like I said, we're going to have options. We have 3 Mossy Meadow circle punches that are going to go across our card like this. Okay, I'm just going to set this aside for a minute. And I have pre-done the bell, the wreath, the ornament, and I've just stamped this greeting. So we can easily put this on the poppy circle, and that poppy matches the poppy bow on that little wreath. And then this bauble and Christmas ornament can go down on a white circle. And this greeting can go on the poppy one. And I don't have enough poppy ones. But I can fix that very quickly. Make sure I get the right size circle here. That's the 1 1/4, I believe. No, it's not. It's 1 1/2. Yes, that looks better popped up there. So we're going to glue this guy onto here. And this just gives these guys a background that makes them easier to see. Okay, so like I said, we have some choices. Now we're going to bring in 2 of these circles, and we're going to put these Whisper White circles on. And the only stamping on this card is whatever greeting I choose to put on the inside. And these 4 little images here. The rest we're doing with dies. Okay, now I need my tweezers because I need to put my letters on here. I could have used the adhesive sheets, but I didn't think of it. It would have made my life very, very easy. But there's only 2 of these little guys, so not a big deal. Hey Denise, glad to see you. Hey Darlene, glad you guys could join. All right, now I still don't see my little dot, but that's okay. We will go with this. I can fix it very, very easily by pulling in my trusty hole punch. And now I have a dot. If that's the only problem that we have tonight, we've got her made in the shade. Okay, so I'm going to put my first circle on here. And I'm going to put my last circle on down here. Like so. And I just have these 2 edges just touching. And that will leave room in the middle for this one. Now we have to get a mini glue dot to put our gorgeous little bows on to our bell. And I'm just folding these glue dots in half because they're just, now I have it on my take your pick tool, they're just a little bit too big for this fine ribbon. Okay, so this is going to say Christmas Joy. So now I'm going to put my Christmas down. Actually, I'm going to wait, put it down last. I'll just lay it here so that you guys can help me with this decision. Thank you, Denise. So, the first one I have is the ornament. can go on there for the O in joy. That's choice 1. Choice 2 is the wreath. Choice 3 is the bell. And choice 4 is just another little greeting. Are you ready? I need your opinion, ladies. Go. Tell me in the comments which one you like better. And I have a favorite. I'm not going to say until the very end after I see all your comments. I do have a favorite. But as you can see, any one of these can easily be used. You could put one of the little bears. I don't even remember the name of the set. You know, the one with the polar bears. There's a little bear. You could put a bear there. You could put a little penguin. You could do whatever. Like, you could use this. So everybody has the same idea as me. The wreath. I like the wreath too. So we're going to keep these tags. We will use those for something else, I am sure. I'm glad we are all on the same page. I thought it was going to be the ornament that I liked, but I liked the wreath the most too. All right, and I see I have a little rough edge on here that I need to sand off with my block again. Okay, now we'll get some glue on this one, and we will pop him right in the middle. And now I'm going to flip this over and get some glue on the back side of this guy, maybe. And I'm just putting little tiny polka dots of Tombow multi-purpose glue on the fattest areas. Not that this die is very fat, let me tell you. Almost there. All right. Okay, I'm going to do this and just press that into place. And there's a couple of little fuzzies from the die cut that I have to pull off here. There we go. Now I need to find my little dot for my eye. Oh, a little much glue, but good thing Tombow dries clear. All right, just give that a press for a minute. And I'm going to bring back in this fabulous ribbon. And I think we are going to add this down the side to give this a little zazazoo. What do you think? Yes? I think so. All right, grab my ribbon scissors and we will trim these. Okay, let me see. Tighten that up. And another little glue dot is in order. Where did my, there it is. And then once again, I'm just going to roll that glue dot so that I can stick it under that knot and keep my ribbon in place. All right, Christmas joy, but we need to bling it up just a titch. Let's put some of this fabulous Winkostella on our letters and on the bow. Because girls, you can never have too much glitter in my opinion, especially on a Christmas card. I have a girlfriend who is addicted to, I don't know what it's called. You know that stuff that you put on tables, those little sparkly sequins. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, she is addicted to this stuff. She just loves it. And every time she gives a card, you open the card and you're attacked by these little pieces of I call them sequins. I don't know what you call them. What do you call them? Zazazoo. Yes, Carol. Zazazoo it up. Okay. I'll bring it up closer to the camera. I don't know how close I should be. Can you see all that fabulous glitter? Let me stand up here so I can see the camera. Pretty. Okay, so from this boring piece of paper, that's what we came up with. So sketches work, girls. If you have no creative mojo, just go on to Google and say card sketches, and there's millions of them out there. Yes, confetti, Darlene. That's it. Confetti. Not hard to tell that I'm a paper crafter when I'm calling it sequins, eh? All right, I'm just going to do a little bit of a cleanup here and give myself a little bit of room. And we're going to move on to card number 2. And it is going to be another Christmas card. And this is the sketch that I found on the internet today. And I thought, I could do something with that. And I was thinking DSP for these strips would be an easy way to go. You know, super simple. Why not? All right. But when I got home, I changed my mind. Of course. I pulled out Mary Merlot. I do not use this color hardly ever, and it's a gorgeous, rich color, so I thought we're going to use this one tonight. And that's just your standard card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And for the inside of the card, I have our standard 4 by 5 1/4 Whisper White. And I am immediately going to put that inside. Oops, did you see that wiggle? Okay. And as you can tell, instead of DSP, I chose this, what's it called? Plush Poinsettia paper. I know some of you guys have this. I don't know if you all do. So I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to put something behind it so you can see it. I don't know whether the camera's picking that up. This is vellum and it has super soft raised flocking, I guess you would call it. It just feels like velvet. And there's this comes in 12 by 12. Of course, I cut mine down. There's this pattern. There's this pattern. And there is this pattern. This is gorgeous, gorgeous stuff, ladies. All right, so we're using some of that. And we're using the beaded pearls. These are the accessories that go with this bundle. So we're going to use that. And I've chosen 3 strips of this flocked paper. And these are each 1 inch. And of course, I just used the Poinsettia dies. I did not use the stamp set yet. That may change. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm kind of just flying by the seat of my pants here. Okay. I also have, I've pre-cut the Poinsettia. And I have, this sketch has 1 banner. Well, I stepped that up just a little. And we're going to put 3 on here, I think, just to give it a little zazazoo. Okay, so we have that. Then I cut out a couple of these little branches. I don't know what they're supposed to be, but I cut a couple of those out, and I cut out the poinsettia. And as you can see, these dies actually emboss as well. Yes, it's my prerogative to change my mind, Brenda. I'm glad to see you here. All right, I'm just going to take my bone folder, and you have to be very careful with this because on these poinsettias, I can't even say talk tonight. Holy moly, ladies. It's very narrow here, and if you pull too hard, I'm afraid that you will rip off a petal. Okay? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pick tool and I'm going to bend the leaves around this way. So I've got it upside down and I'm just bending it around to give it dimension this way, as well as I'm going to lift it from the center with the bone folder as well, because we want these to pop up and look big and beautiful and gorgeous. So I'm just giving it a little bit of lift this way. And then I'm going to take and wrap the leaves around this way. Might be easier if I use my bone folder. Actually, it is much easier. There's a tip for you. We don't want no flat flowers. All right. Almost done here. I know this is boring for you guys to sit and watch, but we can chit-chat while I do this. You guys have any questions? I do have one thing to tell you. I have a request from a customer for a couple of things, and when I do my Facebook Live on Saturday, I am going to be fulfilling her request with and showing her what she wanted to know. So I invite you guys all to come on Saturday, and we're going to do it Saturday at 10:30 in the morning. What has happened? Have I lost you? If you guys can hear me, please leave a comment, because I have lost my Facebook feed. Okay, I think I'm back. Ladies, can somebody please comment if you can hear me? I didn't say what the request was, Denise, on purpose, because I want it to be a surprise. It's a very, very good request, and you're all going to enjoy it. Okay, so about an hour ago, I took a piece of scrap cardstock, and I took my piece of scrap, well, it's not really scrap, but I made it scrap vellum to do a test. Vellum is very, very hard to adhere to cardstock because you see the adhesive through it. You could put little dots on the back side behind here, but then we'd have kind of this area flopping around, and I didn't like that. So I will show you what I did, and it works for me. You can see a little teeny tiny bit, but not enough to bother me. So I just put a little puddle of Tombow, and I just blend it out. I don't want any big globbies, so I just blend it out. And then I just took my vellum and I applied the glue. Heavens, cat. She wants up. She's climbing up the back of my chair. And then I'm just going to put it on like so. And see, it's darn near invisible. You do that too, Denise? Good, good. So I'm just going to put a little more glue here and grab my old glue sponge and do the same thing. And now I'm going to go over to this side and mirror what I've done on this side. Trying to keep the same margins, like so. That way it's going to be visually correct, and that will be easier to place your centerpiece. I just dropped a leaf, and if I don't pick it up, my cat will have it. Because she's helping, or she thinks she is. All right, last one. And you notice I keep moving my piece over in case I have any little residue of glue. I don't want it on the front of my card. Let's see if we can get this one placed. I have yet a different setup tonight. I did not like my camera bouncing with my mount. I found when I watched the video from Tuesday night, whenever I was inking or sponging or something, it was bouncing the camera and it was driving me crazy. So I put out a shout to my husband and he has solved my problem. My camera is not in, did you see? Yeah, that's right. Is not in any way, shape, or form attached to my desk. It's attached to the cabinetry above my desk. So there's no way that that camera can bounce anymore. I don't know about you ladies, but it makes me dizzy when I see a video and a camera's bouncing. Alrighty, we're just putting this banner together. Like so. Slide that in. And that is going to go. I got glue all over my fingers. Let me just grab my chamois for a minute. Let's see if I can get some of that off. All right. So I am going to attach this right directly to the card front. And because this is flocked, I am adding lots and lots and lots and lots of snail. And that will just go something like that. We'll just give that a press. And now we just have to put our gorgeous, gorgeous poinsettia together. And I'm going to use dimensionals because I want this to really pop. So when we put these together, we have to remember that we're going to offset. Phew! I thought that that dimensional might be too big, but it's not. We're good. We need to remember to offset the petals so that our flower is nice and full and beautiful. And then we're going to grab another glue dot and we are going to put glue dots on the back of this beaded pearl embellishment. Woo! Took off on me. I guess I was doing it better the other way. And these things are pretty heavy, so you're going to want to use the glue dots because you don't want your... How pretty is that? That Mary Merlot is gorgeous. Okay, so on the back of my flower, I am going to use dimensionals. Lots of dimensionals because I don't want it to fall off my card. That ought to do it. If it falls off with those, we're in trouble, huh? One more. All right. Now let's put this baby. Now remember not to go too far off the edge of your card. All right. So now we have these leaves, and I cut 4, but I think I'm going to discard into my goodie box the big ones. I think I'm just going to use, I'm just going to use the little ones. And once again, I'm using dimensionals. And I'm just going to stick that under. Now, where do I want this one? Do I want it up here? Or do I want it down here? This is the fussy part, just figuring out where you want things. What do you think? Is that all right? I think so. So I think I'll put this other leaf in here. And then we'll work on those beautiful gold branches. If I can, I have no fingernails. There we go. I'm going to stick this guy under here like that. And I think I'm going to cut just a titch off these. Yeah, that's better. Yep, that'll do it. All right, we're going to use Tombow on these little guys. And hopefully they stick well enough with that flocked paper. All right, just lift and tuck that under there. And I'm just going to hold this a minute. And my computer has decided to try to do a scan at this time. All right. Good news is I didn't lose you, so that's good. Just putting little tiny dots on the ends of these. And we're just going to lift that up and slide that one in as well. All right. How pretty is that? And I am not going to put a greeting on the outside of that one. I think the card speaks for itself. I'm going to put the greeting, when I decide who I'm going to give it to, I'm going to put the greeting on the inside with my message. All right, so let me clean up some of this mess so you can see. There's our sketch, and there's that card. And there's our sketch, and there's that card. I'll bring those up one more time, nice and close, so you guys can see all the glittery goodness. And that's what I have for you tonight, ladies. I hope you enjoyed this impromptu get-together, and I hope to see you again on Saturday at 10:30. And we will be doing another by request. And believe me, you are going to love it. It was a very good question that this customer had. So I will see you all on Saturday morning. Bye-bye for now. Take care. Stay safe.